Hello viewers, thank you for constantly watching our videos weekly. We are excited to bring you another insightful and educating video.
So week 5 has been amazing. This was the beginning of our smart contract week, and having learned the basics of Solidity, we dove right into writing smart contracts. We learned about the development tools that we use, Remix and Hard Hat majorly, and we started off easy with a simple setter-getter, contract that just sets data to the blockchain and retrieves that data, and then we went into the more serious stuff like the ERC20 standard, the ERC721 standard, and then went as far as writing 3 versions of a savings contract. One to save Ether, another to save an ERC20 token, and another to save both Ether and ERC20 token. The mentor Kaswini also took his time to teach us about best practices. Best practices like avoiding reentrancy and also sanity checks. We also went neck deep into testing using Mocha and Hard Hat.
Smart contracts are executable, self-executable programs. They run on the blockchain.
They are executed when predefined conditions are met. They can be used independently, and sometimes most times they are implemented with dApps.
So the major reason why people use smart contracts is because they are immutable. Another major reason why people use smart contracts is because it is distributed.
Save Ether contract allows users to deposit Ether and withdraw Ether.
And Ether is the native currency of the Ethereum blockchain. How does this Save Ether contract works? Made use of mapping, which helps us to keep track of users that save in the contract.
In the Save Ether contract, there are 4 major functions. There's a deposit function, there's a withdraw function, there's a check balance function, and there's a check contract balance function.
The event management smart contracts, whereby it was NFT gated, meaning that the attendees needed to have an ERC721 NFT to be able to attend your event.
There's a contract called Simple Storage, which has a state variable called _data. And the underscore data is a type of number. So we use unsigned integer to assign a number for a state variable. And we also have a function called set data, where anybody can actually update the state of that data. And then we also have another function called get data, where you can actually get or retrieve the data from that state variable.
Token standards are basically agreed upon rules that guide development, design, and implementation, and also the use of these tokens, right? The ERC20 and the ERC721. These are the most common token standards we use when we write smart contracts.
ERC20 stands for Ethereum Request for Comments number 20. The ERC20 is just a token standard that follows a technical guide on how tokens should be built on the Ethereum blockchain.
ERC20 tokens are digital assets that adhere to a set of rules. So these rules ensure that they are interoperable, they are compatible, they are fungible, and they are transferable.
For a token to be considered on the Ethereum blockchain, it has to implement some certain functions and events for it to be considered ERC20 compliant. The events that must be included include the transfer events and the approval events.
ERC20 tokens have some functions that have to be there. This includes balance of, approve, transfer, among others. And you can also have some optional ones like symbol, name, all those stuff.
The ERC721 is a token that follows the ERC721's token standard.
And it's used for NFTs. You've seen them like CryptoPunks and every other NFT people create. So this can be physical assets presented in the blockchain or just digital assets that are made in the blockchain.
What makes NFTs unique of all the digital assets is because the ID of the NFT is being mapped to the address of the owner. So for every NFT, the only unique thing is the ID. So you can't see the same NFT with the same ID. You can't see one NFT with the same ID. They have different IDs, which makes them more secure, and it increases operability because you can use it. It's a non-fungible token, it's a digital asset, so you can use it for anything. It's cross-platform provided you are using it on an Ethereum blockchain. And
the only difference between the both of them is that the ERC721 token has an owner of function, which means every token has a specific owner. But the ERC20 can be owned by anyone and can have the same value at any time.
So unit testing is a software testing method where you test your functions in units. Testing is the act of checking your codes unit by unit to be sure they are working properly.
We have different framework in testing. We have the Chai, we have the Mocha, we also have the Foundry, and other languages we have the PyTest and JUnit generally. There are different two types of unit tests. We have the TDD and the TDD, which is the test-driven development, and the BDD, which is the behavioral-driven development.
Unit testing is good because it helps you to save money. You don't push things that are not working to production, hoping that they will work. So it's essential we test our code before we push them to production, because when it's very expensive to test your code when it's already on the blockchain.
Interfaces. And this interface is a way to define the behavior of a contract without actually implementing it. We have two use for these interfaces. One is for implementation, and secondly for interaction. And in implementation, all the functions are being used. But in interaction, we interact with already deployed contract on chain.
A multi-sig wallet is a kind of wallet that involves more private keys to authorize the transactions.
Multi-signature is more secure than a single. Multi-signature is more secure than a single signature transaction.
Some of the benefits of this multi-sig wallet is being used in financial institution, crowdfunding, and so many more.
Libraries are a special type of smart contract that contains usable code.
Solidity libraries foster code reusability, and they allow developers to add and implement methods for specific data types. So similar to classes and objects in object-oriented programming. So these methods can be accessed using the dot notation.
But what are the benefits of a library? The first one is the fact that a library is reusable. The second one is the fact that it is economical. The third one is the fact that a library are good add-ons to have in our code. Here are some of the limitations of a library. The first is a library do not have a storage. A library cannot accept eaters, neither can it have a payable function. Also, libraries cannot be inherited, nor inherit other smart contracts. And lastly, a library cannot be destroyed. It is indestructible.